Okay, transformations of quadratic functions. Some of this you had in a different chapter. You did this in chapter 2. So this is just, the first section is just review. Again, we are making a U-shaped figure, and that's all we're doing in this one. And to review how to transform these, if the number is inside a parenthesis, it moves side to side. Do you guys remember doing this? And if it's outside, it moves up or down. The negative sign is going to flip your graph, and the 2 makes it skinny. Again, this flips your graph, and a half makes it wider. And we did this in chapter 2. It would be around October. So again, you already know you're making a U-shaped figure. And you're going to move your U-shaped figure up 1. And you know it needs to be upside down because of the negative, and it needs to be skinnier. And you are done with the first problem. Okay, look to see where the 3 is located. It's located inside, and since it's a positive, you move it to the left 3. If you remember this, positive, you move to the left. Negative, you move to the right, if you remember that. Again, it's flipped upside down because of the negative, and it's wider. Okay, let's do 2 more. Look where the 1 is located. It's located inside, so it moves it side to side. And since it's a positive 1, you move it to the left 1 and down 3. This moves it up or down. So we go to the left 1 and down 3. So there's my new vertex, and it's a negative, so you flip it upside down. And the last one, you move it to the left 2. You don't move it up or down because there's no number right here, and it's facing up because there's no negative sign. Final answer. So that's the first part of the worksheet. The second part of the worksheet is graph it, but it's not in that form. So all we're going to do is do what we did in 5.1. You're going to make yourself an XY chart. We're going to use this from 5.1. A negative b over 2a. A negative b is a positive 4. The a is 2, so that makes 4. So you get 1 comma. Just like we did in 5.1, we found the vertex. We put a 1 in here and a 1 in here. And when you plug that all into your calculator, you're going to get 2 take away 4. 2 take away 4 is a negative 2 minus 3 is a negative 5. That goes in the middle. That's your middle point. When x is 0, remember we always use 0, and then it goes in order, so it's 0, 1, and 2. When x is 0, this becomes 0, this becomes 0, and that stays a negative 3. So your point is a negative 3. And if that's a negative 3, that's also a negative 3. So in order to graph this one, we pretty much did what we did in 5.1. So 0, negative 3 is down here. 1, negative 5 is down there. And 2, negative 3 is there. And you connect your dots. So everything in 5.7 is the review from other sections that you've already learned throughout the year. So let's do 2 more. Graph again. So I'm going to find the point 0, comma. You're going to put 0 there. You're going to put 0 there, plus 9, which ends up being the number at the end. Negative b over 2a helps us find the vertex. A negative b ends up being a positive 4 over, a is 1, so you get 2. So you get 2 for your x value. And then how do you get your y value? You go up here and you put 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 9. 4 take away 8 plus 9 is 5. And then you make yourself your chart just like you did in 5.1. The 2 and the 5 go in the middle. The 0, 9 goes before the 2. it goes 0, 2, and the next number would have to be a 4 then, because the x's are counting by 2's, and if this is a 9, this is a 9. So, we will graph these 3 points. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, and 2, 5, and connect your dots. Okay, last problem of the day. We're going to do exactly the same thing. When x is 0, this becomes 0, this becomes 0, so it must be a negative 15. It's easy to find the y-intercept. To find the vertex, you have to do a negative b over 2a. A negative b would make it a positive 24. A is a negative 4, which makes this a negative 8, which makes this a negative 3 for your x value. But then you also have to find the y value, so you have to put a negative 4, then you have to put the negative 3 in parentheses and square it, then a negative 24 times a negative 3 minus 15. And all I would do if I were you is put that all into your calculator using negative signs and using parentheses. Put that all in there, exactly. So I'm going to put a negative 4 in, and I'm going to use a parenthesis and put a negative 3 parenthesis and then square it. And then I'm going to put a negative 24 times a negative 3, and then I'm going to put a minus 15, and it ends up being 21. So just put it all into your calculator and it'll come up with the number. So we're ready to make a chart. Remember, the vertex always goes in the middle. The 0, nope, the 0 doesn't go there. A negative 3 on a number line is before 0. Think about it. Here's 0, here's a negative 3. So negative 3 comes first and then the 0. So 0, negative 15. This number needs to be a negative 6, negative 15. So we're counting by 3's. So this is what the graph looks like. I'm going to count by the x-axis by 1's, but on the y-axis I'm going to count by 2's. So keep that in mind when I'm graphing these. So at negative 6, right here, I'm going to go up a negative, or go down a negative 15. Negative 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So right here. And then a negative 3, 21 is down here. And 0, negative 15 is right there. And when you connect your dots, whoops, I knew I did something wrong. Start this again. I know that the parabola needs to be facing down because there's a negative sign out in front, so I gotta do this again. 0, negative 15, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. About right here is 0, negative 15, and this is a negative 6, negative 15. But then this one, you go out on negative 3 and go way up here, so it's upside down for this one. And that's all the notes for 5.7.